Welcome into a live edition of the Bleav in Panthers podcast, special edition here on Friday, January the 24th, 2025. We're a couple of days away from Conference Championship Sundays, one of the best Sundays on the calendar. Desmond Johnson, Jonathan Stewart in the house. We're going to get you ready for that. We're going to pick those two games, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the storylines within those games. Jalen Daniels, is he having the best rookie quarterback season of all time? The dude is killing it. We're going to talk about Jaden and the Commanders. The Chiefs offense, are you a little concerned about them as they take on the Bills in Arrowhead on Sunday? The Detroit Lions, a bit of a shock this past Sunday running into those Washington Commanders. We'll talk about them as well. And then a question that we were kind of thinking up here, the four quarterbacks that are actually in this conference championship on Sunday, which quarterback would you take to start a franchise 5 years from now? So we're going to put a little twist on that question. It's Bleav in Panthers. Let's go ahead and roll that intro and get into it.
Jonathan Stewart gets in, fights for more yardage. Stewart to the mouth of the goal line. Touchdown!
Wow, that's just pure Stewart right there.
That's a big-time run by Jonathan Stewart.
Welcome to Bleav in Carolina Panthers here on Bleav Podcast Networks. Do you believe? Rate and subscribe the show on all major podcast platforms and subscribe to our social media channels on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Video available weekly at youtube.com/@Tobacco Road Sports Radio.
Do you believe?
And welcome into a Friday edition of Bleav in Panthers Live here on the Bleav Podcast Network's YouTube channel. You can follow them over at youtube.com/@Bleav. Desmond Johnson, Jonathan Stewart here in the house with you on a Friday. Normally on Tuesdays, we had to push out a couple of days, but I'm glad we did because we're going to get a chance to focus on Conference Championship Sunday. The Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders, 3:00 p.m. on Fox, followed by the Buffalo Bills going up to Arrowhead to take on Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs at 6:30 p.m. on CBS and Paramount Plus. We'll get into that in just a bit. Before we do that, though, a word from our sponsors over at Bleav, and I'll make sure I got my read right for Bleav. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head over to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code Bleav, BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. And where we wanted to start today was rookie quarterback Jalen Daniels, Washington Commanders, Stu. I was trying to think of another quarterback that's been this good out the box. Like even Cam had some up and down games rookie season. Have you seen this before? Like, has this happened before? Can you think of anybody that's close to what you're seeing from this kid?
No, I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you. This young man's completing passes like he's on rookie mode on John Madden. It's insane, man. Like, but what's really cool is, and what's interesting is the preparation that he's been able to, have at his disposal, right? So the virtual reality training that you're talking about, a lot of colleges have this. University of Oregon has implemented this into, their craft. And what Jaden Daniels has done is mastered it. It seems like, right? These are not college numbers. These are not anything that we've ever seen before. Like, for him to get to the playoffs and for him to be, the reason why, the Commanders are in this position, typically you see a rookie quarterback, having success and, you being able to point to the defense as far as like the loudness of why they're so successful. Not in this case. This is a offensive-led team that's gotten them to the Super Bowl. And we've never seen anything like it. Jaden Daniels, I have my picks, but I wouldn't be mad if it goes the other way. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both picked Detroit to win that game. I don't think either one of us had Washington going up there and dropping 45 points on the.
I only think Washington fans had the hope and the thought process when it comes to them winning that game.
Man, I got a lot of Washington friends that are fans, and I've been rooting for Washington. I've caught myself rooting for them the past 2 weeks. And I've told you before the Panthers were here, this was Redskin country. The whole state of North Carolina was the 1 o'clock game was the Washington game every Sunday. And the 4 o'clock game was probably the Cowboys. So you kind of got indoctrinated into it. And as far as I can remember as a kid, it was all Redskins everywhere. Like here, Hogs, Joe Gibbs, Mark Rippon, Doug Williams, that whole thing. And I flipped to the Panthers as soon as we got our own home team in 95. Yeah. And I've been rooting for them. I felt it almost like this kid kind of, I haven't felt this in a while about Washington. And I'm sitting there watching them go up and down the field. Did they punt? They didn't punt in that Detroit game, did they?
I think they might have punted late.
Maybe once, but
yeah,
they're like allergic to punting or something. Like they just.
I love how aggressive they are on offense. Yeah. It's fun to see, especially going against Detroit, who basically tapped into that and made everyone feel like, well, wait, this is a new age football team. Yeah, they're going for it on every fourth down. And so, and then seeing the Commanders come out and say, yeah, we're going to do that too, but we're going to be uber successful.
Yep. Every time. Every single time we try.
I mean, it helps
like to get past the 50.
One thing that I walked away from watching football last weekend was, if I'm an organization, I need a dual threat quarterback. I don't want anything else. If it ain't dual, I don't want it. I do not want it.
That ain't even the future. That's now. Like, look at the top quarterbacks in the league right now: Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. They're all dual threat quarterbacks. Like, I mean,
if it don't run out the pocket, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm. You need, and with him, they running him 15, 16 times a game. Like, it's part of the offense. Like, you gotta, when you have to account for the quarterback, like when you have to put a defensive player specifically on the quarterback because he's a threat to take off running, it's a whole different, like,
especially like third and 4, 3rd and 2. You spread those guys out, and you basically create route trees for them to get the defenders out of the way, so that way you can just run it. That's a play call. That's a run play.
Literally, a pass 3 steps back. I'm going up the hole. I'm going to see what's happening. And Jalen Daniels got some speed on him too. And that whole VR thing was kind of eye opening that I saw last week that you're talking about. Where, for those who don't know, he trains with virtual reality, and from my understanding, in the draft, he was telling teams that were looking at him that, look, I'm using this at LSU. I want to use this wherever I go. Can you accommodate? And the Commanders were like, yeah, come on. And apparently he does it at 1.75 speed. So he's doing it faster than regular. Yeah. So when he's out there playing,
everything's slow motion.
And that made total sense watching him play. I'm like,
out there looking like he's slow. He looked like he's slow motion putting boys in some potion.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. He in the ocean by himself.
So he's changed my mentality in terms of what's possible, because I wouldn't have picked Washington to get this far to begin with. Yeah. And I probably 3 weeks ago, if the same matchup came up, I would have picked the Eagles blindfold. I wouldn't even thought about it. But now we're going to wait till we get to the end of the show.
It's interesting. Bo Nix and him have very similar numbers, but when you watch them both play, you can automatically see the difference in how they are and how they contribute on the field. His 98.5 QBR against the blitz the last 7 games. Like, that's ridiculous. Against the blitz. That means, look, we tired of you just throwing the ball around like it's John Madden. So we're going to send some guys.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to pick them apart regardless, that's special. That's very special. And I'm looking forward to this, this Sunday, see what he's able to do. I don't necessarily think, I know we're getting into, who we're thinking is going to win the game early, but I don't necessarily think, it's going to come down to whether or not he plays bad. I think it's just going to come down to the Commanders running out of time.
Yeah. Well, we haven't really seen him play bad this year, have we? Like, I mean, not yet. No. But then again, Philly's defense is not. Detroit came. Let's just be real. Detroit's defense came in banged up.
They were banged up. They lost about half. They lost 12 guys on their defense. Didn't they?
People forget Aiden Hutchinson got hurt like week 2 or whatever. He's their best player. So they got this far. So I ain't counting Detroit out yet. We're gonna talk about windows in just a bit. I like how you mentioned Bo Nix, because one of the new things that came out as we go around the league real quick before we get to our conference championship picks, the reemergence of in Las Vegas, of all places, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And we were looking at that AFC West now. So you're going to have Pete Carroll in Las Vegas, Andy Reid in Kansas City with Pat Mahomes, Sean Payton in Denver with Bo Nix, and Jim Harbaugh in San Diego with Justin Herbert. Is that the craziest division
It's
going
like a
forward?
resurgence of the NFC taking over the AFC. Like, and you know what? Pete Carroll's 73 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't your average 73-year-old.
He's very spiry.
He got more energy than a lot of coaches out there. I mean, he's gonna be in California, so let's put it this way: he's gonna have more energy than the coaches that are eating avocado toast, right? Everybody like to make sure they eat well and have their energy prepared. Y'all young. I'm 25. I'm 32. I'm gonna make sure I have my avocado toast. And look, Coach Pete, he gonna come in there on his. He gonna come in there riding his bicycle, probably like, "Hey guys, you ready to go?" But this is the same guy. This is the same guy that turned Russell Wilson, a 3rd-round pick, into Mr. Unlimited.
And I was going to say, I could see Russell Wilson ending up in Las Vegas because that was a 1-year deal in Pittsburgh. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to want him back. I could see Russ and Pete getting back together in Las Vegas for a little ride there. And it's just crazy to me that division is flipped that way with the coaches or whatnot. Las Vegas needs a quarterback just to be able to function in that division. Let's not forget Pat Mahomes still running the AFC West in general. They went 15-2 this year. They gave Denver that win at the end just because they didn't want to play their starters pretty much. So we'll see about that. But besides that, Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, gets hired with the Chicago Bears. And Aaron Glenn actually gets hired as the head coach with his former team he played for, the New York Jets. And a friend of mine had just messaged me that our former defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes, is going to be the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets next year. Underneath, so there's a lot of coaching carousel, hot seat stuff going on right now.
Well, if the Jets were experiencing any smoke in their engines, they ain't got no smoke no more.
Yeah, that was a good fix.
Yeah, Coach Wilkes up there with Glenn.
Yep,
and
they got some talent on
defensive-minded geniuses. Ain't nobody gonna score no points.
They got the talent is on their defense. Yeah, like literally, they just need to come in there and get that. And I've been seeing folks online, Panther content creators, whatever, hollering and screaming about us going to trade for Garrett Wilson from New York. I don't see it happening. Honestly, our salary cap situation right now, I just don't see them spending that kind of money on a wide receiver. He's going into a contract year. We would have to give up too many assets just to get him here on his rookie deal and then re-sign him on top of it. And the average rate for a top 10 wide receiver right now is like 20 million, 22, 24 million a year. Like, I don't know if that's beneficial for Carolina to do at this point. I'd rather continue to build through the draft and build our own pieces and let this thing grow over time. Let Dan Morgan cook.
It's definitely cheaper. It's definitely cheaper through the draft at this point.
Yeah.
Get somebody in there. Position.
And then, like you said a couple weeks back, you get to a point where vets want to come play with you. They want to come here and play on vet minimums, or they're at the back of their career, but they can still help a franchise, that kind of thing. A Jared Allen, a Peanut Tillman, that kind of personality to come in and round out the roster. I think that's where Carolina's going the next 2 years. So we'll see how they do with that. Getting back to the teams in the conference championship, the Kansas City Chiefs, are they playing with fire? Because on one hand, they've been doing this all year. Literally all year, they've been playing these close, down to the wire, like one possession type games. On the other hand, they always win them. So it's like, is this a case of them not having enough ammunition or just hanging on for dear life? Or is this, like I said last week, and they are like 93 Michael Jordan, and they're just kind of toying with the rest of the league? And Travis Kelce came out and had a game. He had a game all year. We knew it was coming, and it came right on time in the divisional round. Are you worried about Kansas City's offense at all?
Man, look, the Kansas City Chiefs offense, outside of Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, this is the dollar store version of the Chiefs. I'm going to put it this way. I go to the dollar store.
I go too.
I still win because them prices be hitting.
It ain't $1 no more. It's like $1.25.
It ain't $1 no more, but it's still cheaper than when you go to Target or somewhere else.
Yeah.
As long as you got, hey, look, all I'm saying is that Patrick Mahomes, he know how to make $1 turn into about $100.
Don't he?
Okay.
Like, don't bet against that man. Do not bet against Pat
Mahomes. We gonna get to it.
I feel like you got it. Like, I feel like you're gonna bet against Pat Mahomes in the show before it's over with. But hey, man, you grown man. If you want to do that, then hey, that's
listen.
Completely.
You can't win a race with a broke down car.
Somebody got to beat him, right? Like, he can't go undefeated forever. Like, somebody got to beat him. That's what Josh Allen's telling himself every time he goes to bed this week. It's like, somebody got to beat him.
Somebody got to beat him.
Somebody got to beat him. So you got the Chiefs, who are coming in after defeating Houston, and home field is their 7th straight conference championship appearance, if I'm not mistaken. They're not undefeated in the conference championship at Arrowhead. They are in the divisional round, but not in the conference championship round. Joe Burrow and Tom Brady are the 2 quarterbacks that have beaten Pat Mahomes in that round at Arrowhead. So it can be done. Will it be done by this Bills team? That's a question that we'll get to here in a bit. But still going around the NFL playoffs, the Detroit Lions. Do you think this is the beginning of their window or the end of their window? Because I'm a firm believer in, once you either become the number 1 seed or get to the conference championship, you have about a 3-4 year window to keep that core group of players together before contract extensions and age and injury and whatever else, because that's a lot of games to play 3-4 years in a row to get deep in the playoffs. Like Kansas City's played almost a whole season at this point and playoff games. Is it the beginning or the end for the Detroit? Was this a flash in the pan, or do you think it's the beginning of something for Detroit?
I think people are going to be very frustrated with the seasons to come because you got a high power engine, right? These cars right now going through my head, but you got a high power engine that is just like, man, that's the best engine like in the NFL. But you ain't got no steering wheel. You just lost your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator.
And the defense coordinator. Yep.
So you ain't got nowhere to turn. Like how you gonna turn? How you gonna get around the corner? How you gonna get around the corner?
I didn't even think about that. I mean, I knew they were both leaving, but I didn't really think about the ramifications of them leaving. Like Ben Johnson, the Lions have been one of the top scoring offenses the past like 3 years or whatever.
Listen, Dan Campbell has to find someone to replace 2 guys that not only he was communicating well with and delegating with, but 2 guys that are going to have to be able to communicate on a similar level and similar game plan as those 2 guys that just got head coaching jobs. So good luck.
Yeah, good luck. And I think the Jets nailed it with Aaron Glenn. I think that's going to be a fantastic hire for them. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers, he said he wants Aaron Rodgers to return. So we'll see if Rodgers comes back. If you give Aaron Rodgers a top 5 defense and a running game where it's not, because Aaron Rodgers is about to be 39 or whatever. Let's not make him throw for 4,000 yards, or at least try to, like they did last year. Hand the ball off, man. Hand the ball off.
Aaron had a good season last year. If you look at his stats, that boy was out there throwing that rock. So
yeah, other than whatever,
losing.
He made it through the season. So
losing comes in different waves, and the waves that they had was they fired their head coach the first 4 weeks of the season or something like that.
Hey, we know how that goes. We know that feeling. So we know what y'all were doing.
No games.
So that's a good thing. And Ben Johnson doing that. And then have you heard this? As we're kind of bouncing around here. I'm sorry, Ethan, our producer today. He's trying to keep up with the Panthers. But have you heard the story about Jacksonville and Cohen, the dude that they hired? That was he was Tampa's offensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. And this all happened in like 2 days, 3 days. Like Tampa basically made him not go interview. They made him the highest paid coordinator in the league or whatever. And then according to reports, yesterday or day before yesterday, Jacksonville started hollering at him or whatever. Yesterday, Tampa was trying to get him to come into the office, like to talk about some stuff, and they couldn't reach him like all day. And then like around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he finally calls in. Yeah, he's like, "Oh man, my bad. I was with my kid at a doctor's appointment." And in my head, I'm like, all day. Like all day. Come to find out, he was in Jacksonville the whole day interviewing for the Jacksonville job, and he got the job. He got the Jacksonville job. So like,
y'all got a lie. Y'all got a professional liar as a head coach.
Yeah, that's how you started. That's how it's beginning. So all that was going on.
You could have just told them straight up. That had to be like a hearsay. Like, that couldn't have been true.
I think that was the if I'm not mistaken, him taking that contract meant he would not interview with any other teams. Like he wasn't supposed to be able to go interview nobody when he signed the contract for the highest paid coordinator thing. And then he went and did it anyway because Jacksonville kept hollering at him, and he was like, let me go see what they're talking about. And Jacksonville, from my understanding, gave him full control. Like, he's going to be able to pick his GM. Like, he's basically running the whole show down there. So I say all that because Baker Mayfield now, the whole thing was that he was going to have the same offensive coordinator for the first time ever in his career, back-to-back years. Nope. As soon as they put that out there the next day,
sorry, Baker.
Go to Jacksonville. So
messing you up down there, dog.
Oh God, don't it feel good? Look at us. Don't it feel good? We got the
we ain't in the news
down here. We ain't in the news.
Yeah,
we ain't got nothing to do with this. We ain't got nothing to do with it.
We're sitting really good right now.
Oh man,
it's a good feeling. I'll tell you this: playing for the Carolina Panthers, we stayed out of the news for the most part.
Yeah.
But
that's good. That's good. I don't want to hear about players.
Really good.
Like, you
stay focused, man.
Let's the main question of the day before we get to our conference championship picks, and this is kind of a condensed version of Bleav in Panthers, but the 4 quarterbacks are in the conference championship round Sunday. Jalen Hurts from the Philadelphia Eagles, Pat Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs, Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills, and Jaden Daniels from the Washington Commanders. If you could build a franchise in 2030 out of those 4 quarterbacks, which quarterback would you select to start your franchise?
That's a good question, dog.
I want to push it out. Not that typical who you do to now, because everyone at Pat Mahomes, but like 5 years from now, you're kind of having to project out because these are different age quarterbacks too. Like
5 years from now.
Yeah. So
Josh Allen, I feel like will be a smarter player with his body. He's a proven talent, proven elite talent at that. Patrick Mahomes, he'll still be young.
Yeah, I'm getting the age
actually
right
kind of crazy to say. Like he'll be in his 12th year.
Yeah,
I guess if we're comparing, him, if we're comparing these quarterbacks to the length that Tom Brady played, then we'll say, he'll be in the middle of his prime.
Josh Allen is 28. Pat Mahomes is 29.
Jaden Daniels is 24.
Yeah, Daniels 24.
Jalen Hurts. How old is Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts 25, 26. I'll double check that. That made me feel old. Josh Allen's birthday is May 21st, 1996. Do you realize I graduated from high school like 3 weeks later?
Yeah.
That makes me
this is how I'll go about this way. Jalen Hurts, his consistency would be in question for me.
He's 26.
Josh Allen, his durability would be in question for me. Patrick Mahomes, whether or not he just says, I'm good. I don't want to play anymore.
I'll do a Jim Brown, just like be done after 10 years. Just come out. I've done everything I need to do. That would be cold, actually.
Depends on what he do with these Super Bowls, right?
My hands are getting too heavy. I got all these rings. I got to quit. I got to retire. Like, too much for me.
Like, man, Jaden Daniels, man, he just got the juice. I mean, Florida guy, the Grove. Yeah. He just seems like he's the future, right? As far as watching quarterbacks, we just talked about what we would want in a quarterback. We want a dual threat guy, and he basically be in the pocket, making so many moves, making guys feel looking like they're in quicksand. You know what I'm saying? So, no disrespect to Patrick Mahomes, but I got to go with Jaden Daniels as far as the future.
A lot of Chiefs disrespect in this episode today. Like, I feel like you're gonna go this way with the Chiefs. Like, it's like America's getting to that point like it was with the Patriots, where we were kind of getting tired of seeing them like every year. I think the Chiefs are creeping towards that. Like, I think Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes, just overload.
I'm not even coming from the place of I'm tired of seeing them.
Yeah,
if they win, I'm gonna be right there saying, man, they great.
I like greatness, and I like
greatness.
Somebody was bringing this up. We keep bringing up Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s.
Yeah,
I don't remember people rooting against them as that was going on. You know what I mean? We were all rooting for the Bulls to do this because once he got the first three-peat, it was like, oh man, we're watching something we might never see again. The Chiefs kind of got a little bit of that going on, where it's like, if they get there, I'm like, all right, well, I mean, they're here. Let's.
I ain't got nothing against Patrick Mahomes, man. Like that he can throw a football through a car wash and then not get wet.
He's special.
He's special. Like,
he's very.
I think at the end of the day, people just hate because they just ain't got nothing else to do.
That's really what's going on nowadays.
If it ain't their team,
podcast.
if it ain't their team, they tired of it. They want some more action. They want to see different experiences. They want to see all kind of different responses and reactions. we've seen the response and reactions to the Chiefs being great for too long, apparently.
Yeah, and that'll happen. You're the hero if you stay a hero. What's the phrase? You stay one long enough to become a villain, or whatever it is. It's kind of like that, like where they're going to start booing the Chiefs because they're winning all the time or whatever. And you're always looking for that foil, like who's going to come along that's going to be the spoiler for the Chiefs or whatever. Because again, no one has done this before in the Super Bowl era. No one has won 3 straight Super Bowls. No one, I don't believe anyone has made it to the Super Bowl in that 3rd year. I think they all got to the conference championship and lost. And I want to say San Francisco was the last one, maybe 88, 89. I think they got there in 90 and didn't get there. I think that might have been the last one. I could be wrong on that. Somebody will clearly check me if I am. But this is different. This is new. And to be honest, this Buffalo Bills team is probably the toughest they're going to see so far in this stretch with the way the Bills are playing and the way Josh Allen is playing. Let's go ahead and get to these picks. Let's start off with the 3:00 game on CBS and Paramount Plus. Oh, no, excuse me. I'm sorry, on Fox. The Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Washington Commanders. I think I just checked because I just did my show live a bit ago. The Eagles are favored by 6, I believe, right now in that matchup, which, to be honest, is kind of, well, maybe it's not low. Washington did win 12 games in the regular season, and they beat the Eagles. Wasn't that the one, the Hail Mary? Yeah, so Washington ain't scared coming into this game. They're playing looser than anybody in the whole thing. Who you leaning towards, Eagles and Commanders, and why?
Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought he was finished? Saquon Barkley about to run up all. He about to run up all.
Hey, they better get to the Super Bowl, remember?
He about to run up on all of them boys, man. Listen, Saquon Barkley has proven time and time and time again that all he needs is one play. One play. And all that gonna do when you have a guy that's taking the ball 63 yards to a touchdown, bro, that's a killer.
Yep.
Saquon's a killer, man.
He's the main running back out of these 4 teams. Like no other team has a running back like this.
If the Eagles stay the plan, that they stay the course, the Commanders ain't got no choice but to be running out of time. Because Philadelphia Eagles, their game plan should be run Saquon and Hurts, and then play solid defense. And so my concern for the Commanders is that they're going to run out of time. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of these games go, especially when you have, 2 offenses that are highly touted, but then you have the Eagles, who's programmed to basically keep the ball. If you do what's right, don't turn the ball over. Like the offensive coordinator, I'm going to be looking at you because this is the time where a lot of offensive coordinators be losing games. Offensive coordinator, we don't want to see that you're a guru. We don't want to see that you have all these cool, fancy plays. We don't want you to prove to the nation that Jalen Hurts is the answer. We don't want to see all that. We don't want to see, he is going to be able to pass for 200+ yards. We don't see none of that.
Basically, don't be Baltimore. Literally, don't be
run
Baltimore.
Run the ball.
Baltimore ran the ball 16 times with Derrick Henry on last Sunday, and they're wondering why they ended up losing that game. Like we said it last week. Like
they turned the ball over now. So when you turn the ball over and when you get sacked and all those types of things, those are killers.
Yeah.
To where like you can't just go up and say, I'm going to keep on running the ball because you playing catch up a little bit. You're not playing in safe territory.
And I do feel bad for Mark Andrews, the tight end.
Oh yeah,
Mark Andrews. That's his name. Yeah, who dropped that 2-point conversion. But to be fair, it wasn't he had to reach for it.
Yeah,
and that did not lose the game per se. Like Baltimore should have been up to begin with.
They had 3 turnovers.
Yeah, they had turnovers before that. So it's not all on him. Yeah, so
you can't have that.
I feel bad.
Baltimore did everything to lose that game. They did everything they were supposed to do to lose.
It's the 2nd year in a row. It's the 2nd year in a row they've done that. Last year they refused to run the ball. They wanted to throw it on Kansas City, and that backfired.
And the Eagles can be right up in there if they do the same thing. If you don't, you can do everything to lose the game. Just put it that way. So don't do that.
And Washington will let you. Yeah, Washington will let you do it too, because Washington they just want to score points. At this point, like you want to give us the ball, fine. You want on the 20, fine.
You got
Touchdown.
B Wags over there, Frankie Louvu ready to hit somebody in the head.
Frankie Louvu.
Y'all better match that energy.
I wasn't even
all I
going to
know.
touch the Louvu stuff, but it does pertain to Carolina. An article did come out this week. I think it was Joe Person who might have wrote it, where it was in the Athletic, if I'm not mistaken, about the situation with Frankie Louvu in the offseason last year. We were under the impression he wanted to leave to play in a 4-3. Turns out the Panthers were kind of late to the table. Washington was already really ahead in that negotiation, and by the time Carolina got to it and matched it, he had already kind of mentally decided to go ahead and move on to Washington. I think Carolina thought he was going to stay because he liked it here, which he did. But clearly it worked out for Frankie going to Washington, now playing in the NFC Conference Championship game.
And Jeremy Chin.
And Jeremy Chin. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of Panthers playing on Sunday. There's a lot of former Panthers and coaches like just going to be running around on
Samuel
Sunday.
with the Bills.
Yep, Kurt Samuel with the Bill. He was with the Commanders before that. So who you got in that game? You said you went with the Eagles, or are you going with
I got the Eagles. Long story short, the Eagles better run the ball. Saquon Barkley better have 200 plus total yards. And let him score, please.
Yeah, that don't seem hard to do. At this point, just saying Saquon needs 200, that don't seem like
his birthday is on Super Bowl, I think they said.
Saquon's birthday?
Yeah, let me check. Saquon birthday. When the Super Bowl? The 9th?
Not next Sunday, the Sunday after. So
yeah, it's the 9th, right?
I think so. Yeah, it'll be February the 9th. So.
Saquon Barkley was born February 9th, 1997. Good grief. I was born in 1997.
Yeah, after I graduated.
Well, I'm old.
Jeez.
I'm old, boy.
I just had my 47th on Sunday, so I'm feeling it.
Man, could you imagine? Like, I want to play in NFL. One day I'm gonna play in the Super Bowl. But you would never imagine that you playing on your birthday in the Super Bowl.
And Kendrick Lamar's at the halftime.
Man, look, I'm gonna put it this way. Hey, refs, make it happen, dog.
Yeah. I'm kind of rooting for. I ain't gonna lie. I'm rooting for Washington. I want Washington to win this game because it don't make sense, and the story would be great for them to go through the number 1, 2, and 3 seeds in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl, and then have to take on either Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, like to win it. It's just storybook. And I watched my Washington friends suffer for 20 years. Like, we talk about us suffering. We've had some ups and we've had some downs over the past 25 years. We've had big ups and big downs. They've just been down. And they've been down. And once they changed ownership and they got Dan Quinn in there, man, like it's just
instant change.
It's great to see a quarterback and a brand new head coach come in and just change the culture, like boom, that quickly. And we've seen it here. Like, we're seeing it now, really, with Dave Canales. So you're going Eagles, I'm going Commanders. The nightcap's the one everybody's waiting on, I think. The main event. Kansas City hosting the Buffalo Bills. They played earlier this year. Buffalo won. It was one of the best games of the season, actually. And even then, the Buffalo players, Kansas City players, were like, yeah, this don't really matter. This don't count. Like, we know we're going to see him again. Like, it's kind of one of those things. It's Pat Mahomes. It's January. It's Arrowhead's one of the loudest places in the NFL to play in. The Kansas City Chiefs are feeling like this is their birthright at this point. Who you got in that one?
Man, look, I got the Bills, dog. Josh Allen's playing lights out.
Wait, well, I wasn't ready. Like, oh man, wait, go ahead and tell me why, because I'm
got the Bills. He's a cheat code, bro. Like,
Josh Allen.
What else do you want me to say right now? I already told you what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing right now. They playing with the dollar store version of offense. And Buffalo Bills basically coming in there like Steak 48. For those of y'all not in Charlotte, Steak 48 is like Ruth Chris or Morton's. It's an expensive steakhouse, and that's how they playing right now, you know. And I can't bet against that right now.
Yeah,
I know I said last year that I would not bet against Patrick Mahomes,
but
it's not Patrick Mahomes that I'm betting against. I'm betting against them other guys.
The other 51.
The other guys. And so one guy is not enough this year. And I'm just keeping it that way. You know, the offense, the receivers on the Chiefs side of the ball, man, they've been dropping balls all year and they're just gonna keep on doing it. There's just too much going on for the Bills that I really like. Josh Allen does not turn the ball over.
Which is crazy to say, because normally he does.
He's efficient as all get out.
Yeah.
He's focused. I just feel like this is a new team. They've done a lot of soul searching, it seems like, this offseason with certain departures. And they found their groove. When you talk about teams that have peaked at the right time, the Buffalo Bills have done that. And they're playing the best football of any football team in the National Football League. So the Chiefs, they're gonna have to bite the bullet. It's gonna be just like Tom Brady going in there and beating them.
You've made some good points, Mr. Stewart. You've made some good points. I can't come off Kansas City, dog. I just I can't do it. Like
you don't have to.
I want to because you've made great points, and I want to pick against them. I really, really do. But that was me 4 years ago, and that me from 4 years ago is like, don't do that. Don't do that. Every time you do that, it goes the other way.
You don't know why? Let me get you right. We both was looking at this Baltimore Ravens and Bills game and saying to ourselves, ain't no way the Ravens should lose this game.
Right.
Unless they turn the ball over. So, who's going to turn the ball over in this game? Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen?
Pat Mahomes been kind of loose with the football this year. He's been throwing them around.
It ain't going to be Josh Allen, I can tell you that.
See, here's my thing. Can Kansas City's defense get Buffalo's offense off the field? Because to me, the only way that Buffalo's going to have a chance is if they keep Kansas City's offense off the field. And the best way to do that is to run the football and keep it time of possession. Like they need like this almost 2-1 like time possession type thing. I don't know if you can do that on Kansas City's defense, which has been pretty good this year. It kind of kept them afloat during this part of the year when they weren't really scoring anything. And then again, Kansas City, man, they're kind of like Washington. Well, they're not kind of. They are. They're the template in terms of whatever can go wrong for the other team. If we're playing you, we'll go wrong when we're playing, and we're going to take advantage of it. We might have a turnover, but you're going to have two. That kind of thing. Like we might fumble the ball at the 50. You're going to fumble it in the end zone. Like,
and I feel like the Buffalo Bills have been in this position with them more.
Yeah, them in Baltimore have been taking turns swinging.
So as far as the experience in this situation of playing Kansas City Chiefs, all the hoopla, all the the pressure that you might feel, they ain't gonna feel none of that.
Yeah, I mean they ain't got nothing to lose. They're not at home. They just won in Kansas City 2 months ago. Like they know what it feels like. It was a primetime game at that, so it was a big deal.
You're saying all the right reasons why
I know
should win this game.
But this is Pat Mahomes is sitting there. Pat Mahomes is flirting with GOAT status here. Like we can't take away the ramifications of him winning or losing this game. Like he loses this game, he might never be at this spot again.
If the Kansas City Chiefs win this game and go on to win a Super Bowl, as long as Patrick Mahomes puts on a jersey and pads and a helmet, we don't need to watch football. We're just gonna watch it just for the hell of it.
We already know what's gonna happen. Like, that's what happened with the Jordan Bulls. Like, I was like, we already know they're gonna be in the finals. Like, that's kind of where it is with Kansas City. 3-peat changes
you got
everything.
Von Miller out there doing some things right now, looking like he's in prime time. Like he played for the Broncos in 2015.
I thought he retired. I had to do the math in my head when I saw his jersey Sunday. I was like, Von Miller, hold on, wait, 15.
Yeah, Von Miller looking like he's in prime condition right now. So
I have to run down dudes. It's the thing with the Chiefs. I kind of want to see them do it because there's a part of me that irks me the wrong way that Tom Brady is considered the GOAT. The Patriots are considered one of the greatest dynasties. I don't like the Patriots. I never really liked Tom Brady. I like Pat Mahomes. I don't have a problem with the Chiefs. So it's like the 3-peat separates them from everybody else. Like no one's done it. And that, again, to go back to the Jordan analogy, that's what separated Jordan from Magic and Bird and Isaiah and all the others. No one else had won it 3 times in a row. So like that's a separator. Like you don't get to this point. He may not get here ever again. Dan Marino got to the Super Bowl his second year in the NFL, never sniffed it.
Never went back. Yeah.
Never went back. So it's like, don't take it for granted. And I don't think Kansas City will. I'm going to pick Kansas City because it's at home more than anything else. Although I will say the point spread in that's like 1.5 or something like that towards Kansas City.
That's why you got to pick the Bills.
Toss up, which is nuts for this. So you've got what? So what did you have? You had Eagles
and the Bills
Super Bowl. I've got Kansas City Commanders Super Bowl. So we literally just
Flip-flop.
Yeah, we both flip flop. So one of us is going to be right, one is going to be wrong, or we might both be wrong.
We might pick wrong.
Yeah. So that's that. So we'll see what that is with the conference championship games on Sunday. We should be back, I think, regular time next week. We'll probably chop up what we saw conference championship Sunday. We'll probably have some more coaching hires. I would imagine Dan Morgan's will start getting busy in terms of roster and stuff like that. We'll start to shift our focus towards needs for this roster for the Panthers in terms of what do they need to be looking for in the draft. Eventually, we'll start getting into draft prospects. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Bleav's supposed to help us out a little bit with that if we want it, with like draft gurus and whatnot from Pro Football Focus. We might be able to pull in, ask them about guys like the wide receiver, I think at Arizona, Ted McMillan, everyone was talking about, might be there for us at 8. I've been catching a lot of slack on Twitter because I just mentioned possibly Ashton Gentry at 8. I didn't mean it, y'all. Y'all calm down. Like, we got like 4 months before the draft. Like, everyone's like, what's wrong with you? You can't pick a running back at 8. I'm like, you can do whatever you want to. Like, there's no rule. Like, if they want them,
definitely ain't no rules.
Yeah, like, I don't know. But we're getting all that. So we got all that coming up. And Super Bowl Sunday in 2 weeks on February 9th, Saquon Barkley's birthday. So we'll see. We'll see if it's the Eagles. We'll see if it's the Commanders. We'll see if it's the Bills or the Chiefs. Either way, I think we got a great Sunday lined up for football. So
remember, Desmond.
And of course, hey, next weekend, you know what next weekend is, though, right? It's Duke Carolina, baby. It's Duke Carolina.
Wow,
it's the rivalry that always delivers. It's always in between conference championship and Super Bowl Sunday. Sometimes it is Super Bowl Sunday, but yeah, that's coming.
That's coming, huh?
That's coming. Yeah.
Well, just remember this about your Kansas City Chiefs. You can't win a Kentucky Derby with a mule. Okay.
Wait, what?
So,
that's actually
you can't. You can't win it.
That's deep.
You can't. You can't.
Does Kansas City have a?
You can't lead a horse to the water. Okay.
That was the whole question. We're gonna stop it right there. Bleav in Carolina Panthers presented by In the Line. We'll see who was right, who's wrong with our conference championship predictions on Sunday. You can follow us there. Follow us on X at Bleav in Panthers. You can follow the Instagram account at Bleav in Carolina Panthers for extra clips, analysis, convo with me and Stu throughout the week. But we'll get with you guys next week. Have a happy conference championship Sunday, and we'll see you then.